Hi, my name is Chris, and if you're watching this, I want to say thank you. I wanted to start off really quickly by saying that this is my second video I'm posting on my channel, and I am so thankful. My first video did really well. I'm at 7 days in, I'm at almost 700 views. I'm at 686, which is 685 more views than I thought it would get. Honestly, I really did make that video just to kind of like put myself out there and to be kind of like the icebreaker for myself and to start this snowball effect of holding myself accountable. So there's been a lot of support and a lot of love shown. So I really appreciate that. I think I started that channel and had like 11 subscribers. I'm already almost at 70, which is crazy. I mean, it's really cool. So it's just been a lot of supportive feedback. So honestly, if you watched that first video, thank you so much. During that time, I spent quite a bit of time behind the computer learning color grading and editing photos. I think yesterday alone, I spent almost like 16 hours alone editing photos and videos for this video you're about to watch. I think overall the video came out really well. I'm really happy with it. This is a trial and error process. I'm not expecting to make the perfect video off the bat. This is something that I'm doing so that I can grow and I can learn. And so if during the process of watching this video you happen to have any tips or bit of information that you can share, I really would appreciate it. I'm open to constructive criticism. I mean, don't be a dick about it, you know, but like I really am open to it. I take criticism really well. So yeah, so if you happen to have any information, please comment, like maybe timestamp the video and comment what your thoughts are or maybe what you would have done differently. I do want to let you guys hop into the point of view segment. What you're gonna see is I'm gonna be commenting on top of it my thoughts, why I framed the shot a certain way, maybe what I would have changed. Again, with this being trial and error and a growing process, I do criticize myself a lot. A lot of it's afterthought. With photography, you really only get like one chance to take the shot with street photography because you can't recreate that setting again. So I do kind of go back and I think about heavily what I could have done differently so that next time I can get the shot that I want. But I really do think overall this video ended up turning out really well. A lot to say from someone like me. I am a perfectionist. I don't like to put anything out there, but part of this trial and error process, part of this growth for myself in 2024 is to not let perfect be the enemy of good. And I think a lot of us kind of fall under that, where you want to show the public your best side, but you fall under this cycle where if you're constantly trying to show your best side always, then the second someone doesn't see that, they're gonna either turn away or they're gonna have a difference of opinion of what they initially thought. So I'm trying to actually practice that philosophy of don't let perfect be the enemy of good and just put it out there. I know not all of these shots are Instagram bangers. I know not all of these shots are perfect or exposed exactly how they should be, but this is me learning my style and my taste in the public eye. So use me as your guinea pig, I guess. Let me know what your thoughts are of the shots that you like maybe, or the shots that you didn't like. And honestly, I am going through the comments and I am responding to people. I'm trying to do my best to be as active as possible. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and then let's jump into the video. And then after the video, we'll come back out and I have an interactive project I want to do with anyone who does view this. So yeah, let's jump into the video. So now that we jumped into the video, I wanted to go over what I'm going to be shooting on and my thoughts behind the shots. So as the video says, I'm shooting on the Sony A6400 and the Sigma 24-70 f2.8, and it's an EF mount. So it's adapted with the Sigma MC11, which turns the EF into a native E mount. So for photography, it works perfectly. Eye autofocus, face tracking, everything's available, but for videos, you do have to go manual focus, so be aware of that. Essentially with this shot, I'm just kind of getting my day going, trying to see what I'm looking for, composition, kind of getting warmed up a little bit. I'm really happy with these series of shots right here. I think the editing came out really well. The colors were something I'm very happy with how they turned out. I'm putting a lot of focus on my editing because I do want to get stronger in that area. You'll also notice that for a lot of these shots, I do use window frames, I use handrails, pillars, for a little bit of foreground, but also for framing to kind of bring the viewer to the subject. I always liked how this shot turned out. I've gotten it before in the past, and I don't know what it is, but the colors of like that brass handrail worked out really well. This shot came out good. I'm happy with it. The colors were good. I think on the masking area, I should have changed the color tones on him, but I'm happy with it. Composition-wise on this shot, I'm really happy with how it came out. Colors were really good, solid, nice dark orange. And something a lot of people don't realize is using reflections. I'm not a very invasive photographer. I don't like to be in people's faces. This is a good way of practicing that, but also being creative as well. That's a cool shot. I wish I had a little bit wider of a lens for the shot to get the crosses on the top in frame a little more. But I think overall it came out pretty well. I should have subject walk through. Even the shadows work well. So my goal in this was using the shadows. I was going to be dropping the exposure down anyways, but I really like the shadows in the light, kind of silhouettes breaking through. It puts a little more emphasis on the subjects walking through. I really like how that looks. So the colors of this works well. So I'm focusing on the silhouettes. And then that should be a cool shot right there. These people like to end up standing in the way of where you're planning on shooting, but that's okay because you can adapt to it. If I didn't look around and I was stuck on this area, I wouldn't have gotten this shot coming up, which ends up being one of my top 3 favorite shots of the day. I'm really happy with the editing. I get kind of an idea, a feel for it right here, and then I recompose, and then I get the shot. And I think I snagged one quick shot before this next group of people walked by. Super subtle, but I got it. And I love how it turned out. This shot right here worked out really well. This is another top 3 shot of the day. This is his wife. Got one shot, but the editing turned out really, really well. I think this is my 3rd favorite shot of the day. This area and the light coming in at this time of day worked perfectly. Quick burst. Using a little bit of foreground and silhouettes. This is something I was kind of nervous to do. As I mentioned, I'm not a very invasive photographer, but I had a concept for this shot and I wanted to do it. He was asking me not to and everything. But his daily job is to walk around and try to grab people's hands to put those beads on. So one thing, don't let them do that. But it's something that I was working on confidence-wise. I'm really, really happy with these shots right here too. This Maserati looks awesome. And this is where I was saying some of the editing might not be some other people's favorites. I tried to change it. I know that it's not the same white balance. I know that it doesn't look the same from reality, but I really like the cinematic look right here. Obviously very drastic looking, but I really, really enjoy that. And then this Tesla also. This is one of my favorite shots of the day, top 5. Who doesn't love a bus picture?
I like that one.
Booty. Nice little quick candid or over the shoulder shot. So there's a couple quick car photos I take. This Tesla one, it worked out okay. I could have probably changed a bit in the editing.
That's a nice shot. It should be
cropped it a little more, changed the white balance, or just not use it. So right now I change out from the 24 to 70 to the Sigma 85mm 1.4. Again, this is an EF mount, so I adapted over with that MC11. On an APS-C sensor, the 85 ends up being 127.5 millimeters, which is very, very zoomed in. I mean, that's a very long focal length.
This is gonna be fun because this is a challenge for me. I don't ever shoot at something this big, this wide. This is nice if you want to keep your distance from people and you want to be more of like a fly on the wall. Like, so for example, let's see if I can get the shot.
These sequence of shots, I don't really edit too much. I like the natural color of it. I maybe just did a little bit of a linear gradient to darken the bottom and top to bring the viewer's eyes to the subject a little more. This is a nice little subtle shot of a couple. Again, not too much editing on it.
This also puts me in a position to where I can get other shots I wouldn't normally think of. Let's see, let's get some of that background. Let's see how sharp they came out. This is 1.4, so your depth of field is super, super narrow.
Quick 180 quick scope with this. This shot coming up right here, I think it turned out really well. I think the colors worked really nice for the area. Put a lot of focus on them. Kind of tells a little bit of a story. Obviously, they're just at dinner. I think this shot came out really well. Composition-wise was pretty strong. The color editing, I liked it. Shows a little bit more of the neon. Same thing with this shot, this lady walking by. I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. This one I could probably dial back the white balance or the orange a little bit, but that's okay. I like how this one turned out. Color-wise, turned out really well. Composition was pretty good. On essentially 130 millimeter lens, I think it turned out really well. This one didn't edit too much, just a little linear gradient, cropping a little bit. This shot of the Mustang coming up though, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Like I was saying, I like the cinematic looks, the blues and oranges, orange and teal. But this one turned out really well, in my opinion. I could have probably dropped the contrast a little bit, or the clarity a little bit, but I'm happy with it. And for these last few shots, I switched over to the Canon 50mm 1.8.
Yeah, dude,
this guy was saying what's up.
I like these shots right here.
In my opinion, on the masking of the car, I should have probably dropped down the shadows to blend it in a little more with the background, but yeah. And then I got this shot right here of Walter White. I'm really happy with how that turned out. And right here, I'm just kind of getting a quick composition. I like the cinematic look of this. I should have probably added a little more grain on the edited one, but I'm happy with how it turned out. So that was a point of view segment. So let's jump back into the video. Okay, cool. So by now you guys have seen the point of view segment. I wanted to jump into the concept of this interactive project. Not only is it cool because you guys can give me your input, but it's something that helps me also learn. So what the project for myself is, I want to give you guys a couple of cameras to choose what one of my upcoming videos are going to be about. So how it essentially would have to go would be, so not this upcoming video that's going to drop, but the following video after that will be the video about the camera that the viewers have chosen. And I ordered in some Kodak Gold 200, so that's going to be the film stock I use. So I'll most likely do some golden hour shooting, another street photography video, but by that time I should be in Colorado, so I might do a downtown Denver street photography or a downtown Colorado Springs street photography. But yeah, so the cameras I'm going to put up, I'm going to show 3 of them, but I'm going to give you guys the option of 2. So the first option is going to be this Minolta X700. Let's see if that's in view. This Minolta X700, which is an awesome film camera. Obviously 35 millimeter, such a nifty little camera. It's lightweight, it's pretty cheap. I think at the time I got this in a kit, it was like $200, but I got a couple lenses with it. But yeah. Could you try again? But I think at the time I got this, it was about $200 because I got it in a kit. But I think right now you can find them anywhere from $100 to $150. I wanted to say shout out to King Japes. He's the reason why I ended up buying this. I'm sure like a lot of people who are into photography and into film photography, he definitely stumbled across your page. So yeah, the Minolta X700. It's an awesome camera. I would definitely recommend it. Check it out if you haven't or if you're not familiar with it yet. And then I was going to do for option number 2, I was going to do the Canon A1. The Canon A1 this is probably my favorite 35 millimeter film camera. Everything from the feel of it, the weight of it, the tactile nature of it. Yeah, I mean, this camera all around. I have this one with the power winder, so that's a nice little bonus on it. But this is by far my absolute favorite film camera. With this being my favorite one, I didn't want to put the comparison between the Minolta and the Canon just because they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. So the camera, you guys have actually seen it. It made a debut in my first video, is the Canon F1. So this is, I mean, this is close. Between the Canon A1 and the Canon F1, those are my top 2 film cameras. I love this because, again, the weight, I mean, Canon just knew what they were doing. Not to say that Olympus, Nikon, or Nikkormat, or Minolta, Yashika's. I mean, there's a ton of other camera manufacturers out there that are on par with the same build quality, but there's something about this. I mean, not only is it a hefty, it's one of Canon's first professional SLRs, but also the waist level viewfinder, which I'm sure you've seen. If you're watching this by now, I'm sure you've seen a YouTuber kind of go over it, but the viewfinder pops off, exposing a waist level viewfinder, which is really nifty when it comes to landscape, street photography. I mean, portraits in some ways to get the low angles so you're not down on the ground. But yeah, I mean, this is an awesome camera. So the 2 options I'm going to do to give you guys is the Minolta X700 and the Canon F1. I have the same lenses essentially. This is a 50mm 1.7. I have a 50mm 1.4. I have a 35mm 2.8. I think I have a 35mm for the Minolta also. So it'll most likely be a 50mm or a 35. If you don't mind, please comment below. Let me know which camera you would like to see a film photography video of, and I will definitely make sure to do that. Again, the film stock is going to be Kodak Gold 200. I guess that kind of wraps up this video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts so I can keep improving. Something I do want to say is this is definitely a learning period for me. It's definitely something I am learning more about. So I'm learning scheduling. I'm trying to get the editing portion and the format of my videos down. So I'm sure over the next year, a lot of this stuff is going to change. I do want to make sure it changes for the better. So the more input I get, the more I can learn throughout this process and make better videos for anyone who's watching it. I should also say, sneak peek, I bought another camera. My wife's not going to be too happy about that, but I got a really good deal on it, and stay tuned to see what that camera is going to be. I'm really excited. It's going to be the first kind of camera of its style that I'm going to get. Yeah, I'm excited. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to say a shout out to a couple YouTubers that really do inspire me. If you're not following them, I would definitely recommend to follow them. It's going to be a list of like 5 or 7 YouTubers, but they give so much really good information, and they really do inspire me in a lot of ways. So shout out to Curtis Padley out in UK. Awesome reviews, great street photography. His editing is on point every time. That dude's awesome. James Popsis, also out in UK. He does landscape photography, but his visual aesthetic for his photos are amazing. They're so soft but detailed. He's very entertaining. James is an awesome YouTuber to watch and to learn from. Shout out to King Japes. The dude does so much information. He's been doing YouTube for quite some time. Big inspiration for why I got into film. He's probably the main inspiration for why I got into film. Kind of rekindled this fire in me to go that route. So shout out to King Japes. Dude's awesome. I believe he's out in the San Francisco area, but yeah, he does a lot of old retro digital digicams, old film cameras, modern cameras, reviews, street photography. The dude has so much information. He's so smart about film, how to push and pull film and everything like that. Willem Verbeek, he's huge on YouTube. A lot of information about the film photography. Obviously, Grainy Days. Grainy Days also does film photography too. A lot of information there. For sure, Volandez, the dude started off with film photography and photography on YouTube, and then got into cinematography, which I love that look. I love that style. Reminds me a lot of like Quentin Tarantino kind of look, color-wise. Volandez is an amazing YouTuber to watch, get some information and learn from. Obviously, everyone knows Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoya, Chris Howe, the whole Toronto squad up there. I mean, there's so much information on YouTube, and you guys have it at your fingertips. So just start watching, indulge, and yeah, I mean, one day, you never know, you could be on someone else's list. So yeah, those are a couple special mentions, and I just wanted to show some love because I've learned so much from all of those people. So do good, be a good person, and I'll see you guys in the next one.